this one is going to upset a few garages. In this video, we're going to show you all of the things that you need to know about the S55 crank hub issue. We're going to cover the issue more in depth, and we're also going to tell you some things that other garages may not want you to hear. On a daily basis, we get asked a hell of a lot of questions regarding the S55 crank hub, and we also get a lot of people asking us questions that they've been told by other people and the answers are completely wrong. So I thought it would be good to do a video and dispel some myths and also tell people exactly what you need to know. The S55 has a common issue with the crank hub where it will randomly slip, causing the timing to go out, and if you're really unlucky, the timing will completely fail and you'll end up with valve to piston contact, which will cost you a massive amount of money when it comes to replacing valves and pistons. So what is the S55 crank hub? This is the crank hub design that BMW put on the S55 as standard. As you can see, it's in three pieces. You've got the gear for the oil pump and you've got the gear for the cam timing. And this hub just holds it all together, and there's a massive bolt that goes through the center of this hub at a crazy torque. Now, the only thing that's stopping all of these from slipping, you've got these friction washers and also the crazy torque on the bolt that holds it in. And when one of these gears slips, what tends to happen is the friction washers, they will snap, and once they've snapped and come out of a line, there's then a big gap in between the hub and the gears, and that allows the bolt to then become loose, and then if you leave it for too much longer after, the bolt will back out and this all becomes rather slippy, hence the crank hub slip. Now when this slips and rotates, the timing is able to completely go out, and the next issue you will face after that is the engine locking up because the valves have hit the pistons. How do you fix it? So the way that we recommend to fix the crank hub issue is with the insane 4-pin or 2-pin pinned one-piece crank hub. This means that the gears are completely unable to slip, and not only that, you've got the added security of having pins which are drilled into the crank and it can't move. This gives you full peace of mind knowing that it's pretty much impossible for this crank hub to slip at all. The only extra thing that you could go wrong on this is incorrect insulation or an issue with the bolt that holds the crank hub in itself. Why does it cost so much? Fully fixing the crank hub can be a costly exercise, but in comparison to rebuilding an engine, if the crank hub slips and you hit valves, it's almost half the price. So our prices to do the crank hub full fix is $16.50. There are many other places out there offering the same service, and generally it's between sort of $16.50 to $2,500. Sounds expensive, but when you look at how much it costs to completely rebuild the top end on one of these engines, it's actually quite cheap. Not only that, you've got full peace of mind knowing that you can do whatever you want to your engine and modify it to your heart's content, and you know it's not going to slip and it's not going to cost you major problems and get you off the road.
Is there any way to check if it's already been done?
A telltale sign that the crank hub has been done is when the bottom pulley bolts are replaced with Allen key bolts instead of the BMW Torx bolts. If there's Allen key bolts in there, there's a good chance that the crank hub may have been done in the past, because those are the bolts that come with the insane kit. As for other kits, I can't comment, but we know when we've done a crank hub that the bottom pulley, when you've got a mirror down there, you can see that there's Allen key bolts there instead of Torx bolts, and that's generally a telltale sign.
Are there other things that's worth doing at the same time?
So when we strip the engine down to do the crank hub, obviously we take off a lot of components. So it's definitely worthwhile doing things like spark plugs, cam alignment, and a full service whilst you're in there. as you can save yourself a hell of a lot of money on labour because we're pretty much doing all of the labour work anyway to do the crank up.
Is the crank up the worst issue on the S55?
Now this is going to upset a few people. The crank up, we believe, is not the worst issue on the S55. We believe the worst issue on the S55, which most owners are going to have issues with in their ownership, is the turbos. The crank up, whilst it is a problem, it does only affect a smaller amount of cars in comparison to the turbo issue, where they are almost guaranteed to wear out at a certain mileage. We're going to cover the turbo issue on the S55 in another video.
Do I need it if I'm planning on keeping the car stock?
If you plan on keeping your car stock, that's great. There's a high chance that you won't need a crank up, and there is a very small percentage of people that have crank up slip on stock cars, but it does happen. Whether it happened to you, who knows? We just can't tell you. So honestly, the best policy is to just get it done, and then you know 100% it's done. And then if you did want to tune the car in the future, you know it's done and you've not got to worry.
What about if I'm going to tune it to stage 1?
The highest amount of cars that we see that slip are at stage 1. These customers have all been told that the crank ups are safe for stage 1, and it's only when you get to stage 2 that you need it. And then very shortly down the road, the crank up slips. And those are the cars that we do the most of, cars at stage 1, and they've been told that they'll be okay.
Does the timing chain get changed as part of the service?
As a rule, you don't really need to change the timing chain when you do the crank up, but if you wanted to do it whilst you're in there for another peace of mind, it's not a massive difference to do the timing chain whilst everything's off. You're looking at another £300 to £400 to do the timing chaining, guys, whilst we're in there.
Sump on versus sump off.
Here at Fast Road, we offer both services. We offer the sump on and sump off service. Whether we take the sump on or off, you get the same no swarf guarantee. Insane actually offer a tool that you can put over the crank hub, which completely stops a swarf going into the engine. So we can 100% be sure that we have no swarf in the engine when we're drilling, whether the sump's on or not. We've covered this in another video. I'll put a few clips in just so that you can see the proof of this. That being said, the other common issue on the S55 is the sump gaskets. So if you have a leaking sump gasket, it's worth doing the sump off method when you do it that way. But even when we do the sump off method, we still use that tool because there is still chance that swarf can get in the engine. The oil pump sits directly underneath where this tool goes to stop the swarf from going, and swarf can still sit on top of the oil pump whether you've got the sump on or off. So you should be using that tool regardless of whether you've got your sump on or off. So these people are out there doing videos, shedding the swarf through the sump where the sump's off. They're not fully protected. So just bear that in mind when these people are telling you that the sump off method is the only way to do it. Yes, you can do it with the sump off, but you should still use the same tool that we use for doing it with the sump on.
Is the capture plate worth it? Does it do anything?
Now, this one is going to upset a few garages, unfortunately. A lot of people will tell you that the crank hub capture plate is a complete waste of time and that it's not the bolt that backs out, and they would be right to a certain degree, but it's not a complete waste of time because for a fraction of the cost you can limit the damage to your engine with the capture plate. Basically what will happen when the crank hub slips is it will slip, it will crack the washer, and then shortly after the bolt will back out. You won't stop crank hub slip, but you will limit damage with the capture plate on because the capture plate can, most of the time, stop the bolt from fully backing out and causing full timing slip. I think that pretty much covers all of the crank hub questions that we get asked here on a daily basis. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and we will be doing a lot more videos just like this on different common issues on different cars. So stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.